found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tony Basilio proudly brings to you the tag team champions of the world. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Matt Dixon and Brian Hartman, a.k.a. D-Generation X. Gentlemen, hope you all both are well.
Yep.
Hope you
doing good.
Hope you both are.
Hope your sinus is better.
Hope you both are fired up, focused. No. My sinuses aren't going to be better until it gets to be about September. I was talking with the great Ben Zorio last night. He and I are both going through it. Several people are going through it right now. It's as bad as it's been maybe ever here. Under Pressure is my theme song this summer. Under Pressure. As we are fired up to be with you today, Essie is going to join us. Our recruiting analyst X, a.k.a. Sexy DXE, is going to join. And today we're going to talk about, in the first hour, what Tennessee's been able to accomplish on the recruiting trail. Speaking of the recruiting trail, Matt, your boy Tony Vitello appears locally yesterday and is out there blasting somebody in the league, Matt. Who's he blasting, Matt? Because my belief is that he's blasting either Georgia. Georgia was poaching around on a few guys, or LSU. That's my belief, Matt. Who are you going to side with? Who is Tony Vitello blasting?
Those two are potentially Schlossnagle at Texas. I'd be stunned if it's not one of those three.
These people. Now, do you love these coaches like Tony? Because Tony's quote is something to the effect of, it's not that they're tampering with his players, it's that they're quietly tampering with his players. Matt, is that, if I'm to understand his beef here with, I'm going to say it's Jay Johnson at LSU, because I believe Jay Johnson has come hard at a literal trio of Tennessee players, including Levi Clark and including the Coons guy. I believe that, in fact, is the case. My friends at VIP Play have put out lines for every game. I don't know, Matt, if you've seen this, but the more I stare at this schedule, Matt, I could be talking myself into this. God, this is an easy schedule, Matt. This Syracuse team can't play dead in the Western, brah. 5.5 wins is their win total, Matt. What are we doing? Out of the ACC, Matt? What are we doing?
No, it's second straight year. You've got a chance to rack up some wins and be in that playoff conversation. Even if you're not probably truly one of the 10 or 12 best teams in the country, you can still find yourself in that discussion at the end of the year if you handle your business against the teams you're supposed to, and then win one or two games that are kind of toss-ups or maybe you're underdogs in.
The way I think about this thing now that we're getting down the track on it is, you got two games you're not winning, and that's Georgia and Alabama. And if you win either one of those two games, hey, man, let's go. But if you don't, that's fine. Because then you've got 7 games you're winning no matter what. 7 of those games you're winning no matter what. I mean, from here. And then 2 swing games. Your 2 swing games are Florida and Oklahoma. And it's all going to depend on how beat up those 2 teams are by the time you get to them. So, Sexy Exy's going to join us. We're going to talk about Tennessee's momentum in recruiting. It looks to me, and none of these years are ever the same, and I hate to say this out loud, but I wrote it today, so I'm going to say it out loud because it's a thought I had when looking at their schedule. That schedule's so bad. Oklahoma and Florida could have much better teams than Tennessee and both finish 7-5. They could be a lot better and finish 7-5. Tennessee's got those 2 losable games and those 2 swing games, and those are their 4 football games on the schedule this year. And that's the truth. Florida plays at LSU, at Miami, Texas, at A&M, Georgia, at Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State. Matt, if we played that schedule, what would our record be? Would we win 6 of them against that competition? With the Joey footballness of it all? Because that would be very difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think you find 6, but you're certainly not winning. I mean, I'd say 8 would be probably the ceiling with that.
8 would
and
be.
That's if a lot of things go right. Yeah, that would be a really tough draw.
And then the Sooners play Michigan, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, us, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, and then we throw in Missouri for a kicker. And the reason I put Missouri in there is that I'm just looking at games that are losable for them. They have 9 losable football games. And if they go 4-5 in those games, they'll finish 7-5. We have 4 losable football games, not 9. They play twice as many, what you would call games of consequence, than we do. So we'll talk later on in the show about it. But Tennessee's a double-digit favorite in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of their 12 football games so far, they're a double-digit favorite. And a 9.5-point favorite against Kentucky. So 2/3 of their games, basically, they're a double-digit favorite. It's wild.
Fortune is shining on the better coach like Heupel, where sometimes losers like Dooley and Jones get saddled with a lot of misfortune, and that can include scheduling.
That's a good point, Bri. Winners win. Bri's got a good point right there. When we continue, Exy joins us. We're going to get up with Exy. I want to talk to Exy about what Tennessee's been able to do on the recruiting trail thus far and what it all means. What it all means. And then also, Matt and Brian, living listener, misstep by the Vols not putting their win over Alabama on their SEC takeover day, because I don't like that at all. If it was me, and you're going to tell me my football program's my front porch of my university, I'm going to show that game twice. If you give me control of the SEC network, I'm going to show that game twice. What's the reason, Matt? Is it the Nico thing? Is that what we're doing here? We're going to pretend like last year didn't exist because he's at UCLA now. Is that what we're doing?
I don't know any other reason why you wouldn't have anything football related.
Doesn't make any sense.
Feels like you could have gotten creative and figured out a way to have a few hours dedicated to football.
See, I agree with that.
I think they did like an inside SEC spring access or something.
Yeah, one of those
for an hour
type deals.
But that's it.
To me, I would have cut up highlights.
Or just play the 22 Bama game.
I would have cut up some highlights and had a highlight package from last year, a 2-hour deal, and just cut Nico out of all of it. Have all running plays. Really make it like anytime Nico was back to pass, Matt, just put like a shadow back there letting the ball go. Like shaved over him, basically. Erased him from the video. Put like a hue around him. Maybe like made it obvious. Superimpose like a Polynesian lei over him. Maybe a headdress. Obfuscated him.
Like the video game, he would just be QB number 8.
Yes. With the headdress on and the lei and the beads. I mean, what are we? It's 2025, y'all. What are we going to pretend like that didn't happen? Why are we not showing the Alabama game? That's dumb.
Do the schools pick what they put on there, or
of course, yes, of course, Bri. Of course, it's their takeover. Of course they do. Which is why there's no football game. We're going to pretend like Nico didn't exist. Whereas UCLA is bringing Nico to their media day next week. What's he going to talk about? I mean, what's he going to talk about?
He's going to break down their scheme and what they are going to run this fall, how he's, developed some chemistry with his receivers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right, man. I forgot. Just like that thing he did this year where he got up there and said that we've added some wrinkles to our offense, and I understand Heupel pulled him aside after that and said, "You don't give stuff away at press conferences. We don't do that here." Because one thing about Josh Heupel, Matt, he is the ultimate caption bubble. That dude. When he speaks, no offense to him, I do not listen, and I love him as a coach. Do you listen to him, Matt? Do you listen to Heupel when he talks?
I try to read between the lines of what he says.
The only time
it's even most of the time is difficult because, like you said, he doesn't say much.
No.
He really doesn't say anything.
Anything. Even after games where he's running hot, he doesn't say anything. Like last year when he kept getting jobbed by the officials and he turned the mic around instead of cutting a promo on the officiating in this league. What he should have said is, hey, look, this football team is on its way to a playoff, whether this league believes it or not. That's what we're doing. We're working on a very special season, and we're being officiated like a team that's expected to be 6-6 or 5-7. I would like some respect from my guys. I wish he was more like that, but he's not. But Tennessee pretending and us pretending like Nico didn't have. Nico's a part of our legacy here. Nico quarterbacked the 10-2 football team. We beat Alabama last year. That should be on that thing. If you're going to do a takeover, and you had a win over Alabama here last year, and you kept Alabama out of the playoff by way of that victory, why are you not highlighting that? I mean, that makes, to me, I'm going to say it out loud, that makes 0 sense. 0 cents.
It's the first playoff appearance in school history.
Hello? I mean, let's be better than that, y'all. Be better. Be better. We're bigger than Nico. Put him out. Who cares? Put it out there. That was a great day. A great day. Anytime you beat Alabama, special thing. Kept them out of a playoff. Are you kidding me? We continue. The future, it's looking brighter. Our Tennessee football recruiting analyst, the man they call X, ECKS, will join us on the other side as we pick it up with X. And if you want to jump in with us, we'll get some phone calls in if you're a recruit, Nick, and you have a thought on what's been accomplished so far in the summer. Xy joins us as we continue with more after this.
Hey, Tony B listeners, I'm Billy from Grade A Grounds, a UT grad bringing Knoxville a better way to raise money. We roast premium coffee fully branded for your team or cause. You keep 40% of sales and we donate 5% to local needs. Let's win on and off the field. Visit gradeagrounds.com to start your winning fundraiser today.
Living Vol fan, we're on the countdown to kickoff, and that means you need to make sure you are game ready. Head to Alumni Hall to get this season's Tennessee sideline apparel. Nike, Columbia, Peter Millar, and more. Shop top brands for the entire family. Hats, Yeti, tailgating gear, and so much more. If it's for the Tennessee fan, Alumni Hall has it. Spend $150 and get $10 in Hall cash rewards. Shop at alumnihall.com. Download their app or shop any of their locations in Knoxville, Murfreesboro, or the Tri-Cities. Alumni Hall, the ultimate shopping destination for Vol fans.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair. And they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms. And I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather & Kittrell Capital Management. Life is full of transitions. Planning for retirement, managing investments, or navigating major life changes. Here at Rather & Kittrell, we're here to guide you through every step. Visit rkcapital.com or call 865-218-8400 to start your journey toward financial clarity today. Rather & Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
I'm going to my TLD Logistics Newsmaker hotline. When news breaks out, I break in. And he is our recruiting analyst to the Stars, ladies and gentlemen. A man we call X, who's been writing for us over at tclub.team for, a good decade and a half or so. And X has been breaking it down scientifically. I'll never forget, X, that list that you had that we were going to release of all the guys Lane Kiffin was involved with before he fled down New Mexico way back in the day. Never forget that. When he fled way down New Mexico way. Shout out Sexy Lancy. And the Fountain City Ramblers tonight will be playing live with you down at Calhoun's, the Marina in Lenoir City. It's going to be an absolutely great time. Tennessee is making a dent here. How many commitments in the last couple of weeks now, X, have we had? We cracked the 10 mark here?
Hey, Tony. Yeah, glad to jump on with you. Yeah, they're right. I think I was going through the list here. I think there's about 10 in the last week or so. They really, I think what you're beginning to see is, a recruiting profile developed for Coach Heupel, and it's going to be a lot of teams are doing this, but I think how I would characterize Tennessee is they're going to get a lot of their recruiting work done early. They're going to spend a lot of the official visits in the month of late May around their 865 Live recruiting event around Memorial Day, then heavy visit month June, and reap the benefits of that in July. And they've done that for 2 years going now. And, again, we've talked about this. This is the way Coach Heupel is going to roll in terms of roster management. They're going to invest heavily in high school recruiting, and they're going to be very selective in the portal, and they're not going to pay a king's ransom in the portal. They're going to be judicious because of the culture that he has in his program.
Let's work our way backwards on these commitments. And by the way, if you want to get in with us, we talk a little football recruiting, and Matt and Bri will jump in here. But this, the latest commitment is the Combay kid who hails from Georgia. And look, it's really easy to get hung up on, 3-star prospect. Cinco says Tennessee, and you mentioned this before, they're going for a type, particularly when it comes to some of their athletes and some of the guys on defense. They're going for a certain type of player because basically you put them in a funnel, and of the 20 guys that are committed so far, what's a fair number, X, that stick here and are here in a couple of years of those 20 guys that become contributors on the field?
Wow, that's a hard question to ask. What I'll say though is, especially Sean was right, and I'll say more so at cornerback. I don't think they, in terms of you got to factor in NIL and all this now.
Yeah,
I do not think they prioritize NIL dollars for safeties or cornerbacks. I do think they recruit to a certain profile at those positions, if that makes sense.
Sure.
As an example, at cornerback, they have 3 or 4 kids committed that are 6 foot, 6'1", 170, 180. The long athletes that have in common, they have amazing speed. I believe all those kids are, they have exceptionally good 100-meter, 200-meter times. A couple of them even are, long jumpers, high jumpers, and so on. So that's a profile. At safety, again, they seem to again have a certain profile that they recruit to, and I think Combay fits that. He's kind of a big kid. He's long. He plays downhill, and I'll tell you what I like about him is I have watched his sophomore and junior years of tape, or some, just not all, but some of the highlights, and I have seen him progress from his sophomore year to the end of his junior year. And in my opinion, he looks like a different player. He just seems far more decisive. And when he decides to, come up and make a play, he appears to be able to, diagnose run versus pass and so on faster. again, that I like that, but I like to see improvement in this in kids, especially these that are, maybe 3-star, high 3-star, and so on. So again, they have a certain profile on some of these positions, and by golly, good for them to stick with it.
When you got word that Rouse was coming, and it was before it broke, you had texted me and said, "Hey, something big's getting ready to happen here," and you had mentioned to me. Well, I'll just read your text. You said, "This is the type of difference maker that you need in your class." You said, "This is a credibility recruit." Can you elaborate for the listener why you sent me that message before the fact? And we're talking about Braden Rouse, who's a linebacker out of Marietta, Georgia, by way of Cal High School, who chooses Tennessee over the likes of Texas, Alabama, and others.
Yeah, and Michigan.
Wow.
Yep. I say that because he checks all the boxes for me. Tennessee got on him before anyone else. They made him an offer. They've recruited him for well over a year. They have led for him much of that time. I remember back in January when he first started getting to campus on a regular basis. He's probably, if not the best linebacker prospect in the state of Georgia in this cycle. He's one of the top two. He's so versatile. He's big enough to play in the middle. You can line him up on the edge. You can put him out in space. He's athletic. He too is a track athlete. Big, fast, plays good. He's from a good program. You can tell he's been coached well. And, I think if he's not has a 4.0 GPA, he's right up there, high academic achievement. So he is, he's a guy Tennessee targeted early that they wanted in this class. He's been a priority, and they were able to get to the finish line. And I don't know if Tennessee, in terms of NIL, where they were with respect to those other programs, but I don't think that really mattered. I think just the way Tennessee recruited him and the family, and I think that the way they showed him that he was going to be, used in their defensive scheme, I think those won out over money, and that's good to see.
I've made the point on here, Ax, that one of the things about sports that the deeper I go in my journey following this stuff is that just when you think you've got it all figured out, it constantly is changing the questions on you, and you think you've got the answers. And the Josh Heupel's tenure is no different, because I'm going to get back to a couple defensive players you really like. We're talking mostly here about defensive players this summer in terms of what they've done, effective. Now, obviously, they've got the number one quarterback in the country, which is great, but the preponderance of the damage they've done is on defense. Now, I got to ask you, because I was kind of hinting around with this with Sean yesterday, and we sort of ran out of time. Is this by design from them because these are the needs they have, or do they have just better recruiters on defense, and thus they're just getting better players on defense because they have better recruiters? Or is it a combination of the two? What is your sense of what's going on here? Because it's a little strange. I would have thought, and I told Sean this, I would have thought that with the high-flying offense, you're always on the field on defense, yada, yada, yada. I would have thought that you would have had trouble attracting great defensive players. That has not been the case. They're getting very good defensive players, and they're I'm not going to say mid-offensive players, but they're not getting the type of offensive player I thought they were going to get. First of all, let's back up. Is that a correct assessment? And if it is correct, what do you think's led to it?
Tony, I agree with you. I mean, one of the concerns about Coach Heupel when he was hired was could his team program recruit enough good SEC level defensive players, given that this was was an offense oriented coach, to compete in the SEC, and he's proved the naysayers wrong. I think it comes down to their better recruiters are on the defensive side of the ball. And case in point, I do not think Tim Banks is a good recruiter. And you can say what you want to about the way he coaches defense and everything, but I want to give him credit. He identified and hired Coach Inge literally right before he was going to sign on to coach at Alabama. And Coach Inge, in my opinion, has been a bright spot. I had tempered expectations because he was a West Coast coach. All his recruiting experience had been on the West Coast before he came to Tennessee, and he has really done an outstanding job of recruiting, and he's improved, the quality of that position group since he's been here. Coach, Harbin, again, even as an assistant or an analyst, has always thought to be one of their better recruiters. And, Coach Gardner, again, he's been doing this a while. He may not be the same recruiter, but he knows what he's looking for. And, he's got a lot of players out there that have made quite good livings playing for him in college, and so he's got quite a name, and I think it speaks for himself. I don't particularly think Coach Martinez is a great recruiter, but you hear these cornerback prospects and everything rave about how much they like and talk about what good relationship builder he is. So there you go. On offense, you just don't have that. The bunch of those guys have not been, coaching and recruiting in the SEC that long. Their success has been mixed at best, and in development, getting those kids on the field has been kind of the same way, mixed. So.
Weird deal. I mean, it's really it's a strange thing to look at this, because we're back to some of the talent on this. One of the guys that you love, right, is this kid that Tennessee identified early. And again, people have a tendency to jump in here with star ratings and, this guy's a 3-star player, and that's your branded a 3-star player. Hey, Cam Sutton was a 3-star player. Immediately. I remember being on in Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction, immediately in the spot and saying on the air when he was a rookie, that is a very good football player, like right away. You were telling me about this kid who is from Canada, and then he had another stop before Chattanooga. But Tennessee, this kid came on their radar, and they did not let him go. And he's another one of these talented cornerbacks that we talk about. If you can, elaborate on him, what you see, and maybe the promise that Jamin Theodore, by way of Canada, who's now at the Baylor School in Chattanooga, what you see for him.
Yeah, he, Tennessee had a run there where they took 3 cornerback commitments, Theodore, Zay Anderson, and Javonte Smith, all in state. And again, in terms of skill set, all very similar. And you know, kind of as a side point, Tennessee has developed a quite nice little pipeline of Canadian kids coming to UT by way of the Baylor School. So, you know, maybe that's another topic for another program. What I know about Theodore is his skills are off the charts. They think they've got a real prize in him because he has moved a couple of times from Canada. He spent a year, maybe two, in Kansas. He is a superb athlete. He's just scratching the surface in terms of what they project a cornerback to look like. They have a lot to work with there. And Tennessee wanted him so badly that I understand that Coach Heupel took over his recruitment at one time. So, you know, when we're, you know, people are talking about all these 5-star players that are still out there, like the Keys kid, you know, Savion Heither, the running back, and so on, and our quarterback. To me, it speaks volumes when your head coach gets, you know, knee deep in the recruitment of some, you know, a prospect that some people have labeled unfairly as a 3-star, and, you know, it gets involved and effectively takes it and closes it out. So, you know, but again, very long arms. He's a long, skinny kid, but he is just an exceptional athlete that, the terms that people use are, you know, he's got great ball skills. He has played, some offense in high school and so on, but they just love him.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that's right at 6 feet, got the long frame. A lot of these guys, if you put them like together when they get them on campus, are going to look alike. Walking away from the scene or whatever, these kids are going to look a lot alike because they're going for a type here, and Tennessee's stocking up.
If you think back or look back at last year, very similar. And, you know, if you look at Ricky Gibson, who, starting corner, these kids all are very similar in build, length, and so on as Gibson is.
So we talk with our recruiting analyst, X, who does great work for us over at tclub.team. We're just doing kind of a summer check-in on the Vols and where they stand. On the other side, I want to talk with X about offensively, what Tennessee's added, what they need, where we're going to go from here. If you have any questions, you can get in at 865 or thoughts, 865-200-5402. I'm looking down right now, and I'm looking off 247, and I see we're Tennessee's 13th nationally. And they've toggled, but depending on the day, a couple people pick up a commitment, and you fall down a few notches. And I got to ask X if that's alarming, or if that's right, or if that's inaccurate, or what he thinks of the 13th overall nationally. Because Sean Sinclair yesterday said it's a pretty good class so far. But he said it's not a lights-out class. He said it's pretty good, though. He said it's pretty good. And if you stack enough pretty good classes together, you have a pretty good football team, which I think Tennessee under Josh Heupel's been pretty good. I'd call him pretty good. We'll get X's thoughts on that. And then this face-on kid, what kind of fit is he? Is, in X's eyes, is he going to be a better fit than the last guy that we went all in on and pushed the chips in the middle of the table and then crapped out? But we'll continue on the other side. So we'll talk about the offensive side of the ball as we continue with more after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
Hey, it's Hayden McGarry, first baseman with your Knoxville Smokies, and it's Thirsty Thursday. Half off draft beers. Hope to see you tonight at the ballpark.
Knoxville Smokies. Summer is officially here, and the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe when extreme Tennessee temperatures arrive. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather & Kittrell Capital Management. And here at Rather & Kittrell, we understand that life is full of transitions. Since 2000, our team of dedicated certified financial planners has been helping individuals, families, and businesses navigate these changes with confidence. From comprehensive wealth management to tailored retirement plans, we're committed to guiding you toward a secure financial future. Ready to take the next step? Visit rkcapital.com or call us at 865-218-8400 to start your journey today. Rather & Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hey
there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. My name's Tony B, and I'm back with you, 865-200-5402. X is joining. We're talking some football recruiting, and as promised, I want to talk about this Faison kid who committed so long ago that he's just the building block of the class. He's the number 1 quarterback in the country. But really what's more important is, how does he fit what you do? The last guy we got of this ilk, I don't really think at the end of the day was a great fit for what Josh Heupel wants to do. When you look at Faison X, what kind of fit is he in your opinion?
I think there's a lot of different parts to it. Culturally, I think he's a good fit. I'm not so sure the other kid was. Faison is taking a active role in, as a commitment in trying to improve this class. He's getting involved in, with some of the kids that are still yet to, that are in the decision-making process or maybe committed to other schools and considering Tennessee. I think there's been some talk about him going somewhere else. I think he's too vested in this class not to end up signing with Tennessee now. I'll be honest, back first part of the year, I wasn't so sure myself, but I've changed my thoughts on that. I think from what Josh Heupel wants in an offense, he's just an exceptionally talented athlete. He's just got a good sense of, when things are breaking down, when to run, when to pass. Sure, he's going to need a little work. I mean, he's a senior to be in college, but in terms of, a fit, I think physically what he brings is just perfect. He looks to throw a pretty good deep ball. I mean, I can't say that with certainty. I've seen him do that, but he doesn't seem to have such a big arm that he's always overthrowing kids or kind of a weak arm where, the receivers are coming back for the ball. I think he throws okay there. I'll pay a lot more attention to him this year to see how he's improved from last year. But I think he's a great fit for a number of reasons.
Is he a willing runner or a reluctant runner, X? Because here's the reason you spend time on Faison. Tennessee's class right now, which is our next pivot point, is ranked 13th live over at 247. And, they're kind of, I don't know how many SEC teams are in front of them, but it's several. Matt, we were talking during the break, and Matt Dixon made a great point. All three of us were visiting. Four of us were visiting. And Matt's point was, if you hit on your quarterback, it erases a lot of sins. All these classes, nobody gets everybody they want. Even Georgia, even Alabama, even Texas. You don't get everybody you want. So everybody's going to have weak spots on their team. And through attrition, everybody's going to have weak spots. When you have one of these quarterbacks, though, it makes up for a myriad of sins. It can cover up for so many weaknesses. So it's incumbent, if you're going to spend that money in one of these classes, it's incumbent to get a guy that's as close to a hit as humanly possible. X, is the guy a more willing runner than the last guy was?
He's a more athletic quarterback, and he looks more instinctive to me when he decides to run. I think that it was really interesting to watch Nico from high school to college, because when he was in high school, and even the first glimpse we saw of him against Iowa, he seemed to be so much more instinctive as a runner. And it looked like to me that, last year either that was coached out of him. He just seemed like he had to stop and think about it before he took off. I don't know if that makes any sense, but Faison, at least in high school, he seems to, you can tell when there are runs called designed for him, but you can also tell when he's got a good sense about, coverage, whatever, when your protection breaks down, that he doesn't really have to think about it. He immediately can, take off and make a play with his feet. And you're right, Hendon Hooker was able to do that, and that covered up a lot of warts, that team had.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker ran like a guy in his late 40s, early 50s when he got out of the pocket.
Yeah, but he knew when it opened up for him.
Yeah, he read what he was doing.
Yeah.
The thing about Nico, I'll tell you this, the thing, I go back to something Jeff Gordon said when he was on the NASCAR scene first, about 30 or so years ago, with the Rainbow Warrior scheme. Jeff Gordon said it's one thing in NASCAR when you're a kid and you're out there and you're doing what you're doing. He said, when you take that first hard hit, something inside you changes. When you have that first wreck, something inside you can change. And I wonder if with Nico last year, as he got hit early on in the season a few times, if that changed, because he took some shots last year, which ought to change you. I mean, it ought to change you. But just a thought there on him. X, when you look at Tennessee's class to this point, what needs are still out there that they have not met? And where are they going to meet them?
Yeah, well, I think if we're talking about offense, they've gone all in on two difference makers. One is I think Tristan Keys, who's committed to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
At least he was before I went on with you. I think there's a lot of thought that his days as a commitment to LSU are numbered.
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be interesting because in terms of relationships, Tennessee's had the longest relationship with him. And it looks like if I was picking right now schools for him, it would probably be Tennessee or A&M. And I think, frankly, A&M's probably going to be able to offer more money than Tennessee will. But, again, he's been to Tennessee a lot. He's got a great relationship with the staff. So that was going to be interesting. And I do expect whether he's done it now or he's going to do it in the immediate future, I do think that Keys is going to decommit from LSU. The running back, Savion Hitter, Hiteer, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Some think he's the best running back in the country. He is a running back Tennessee, again, targeted early, head into campus. They're right in the thick of it with Michigan, maybe to a lesser extent, Ohio State. But I think there's a good chance, he ends up at Tennessee. So, there's 2 5-star kids that, talking about a 13th ranking, if Tennessee is fortunate enough to land, those 2 kids, you're talking about a pretty significant jump in rankings for those who worry about such stuff. But more importantly, if you watch those 2 kids, they bring skills to the team that this class doesn't have in it right now.
To the radio listener, let me keep it live and legal here as I'm talking with X because I got to follow up on those 2 5-star kids.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
So you talk about the top running back, you talk about the great wide receiver. X, if you could have one, if we're playing a game here, you want the Keys kid or do we want the 5-star running back? Hey, Matt Dixon, if I said you could get one of those guys, who do you want, Matt, to pair with Faison? Do we want the great wide receiver or do we want the number 1 back in the country? I'll start with Matt. I'm going to give you guys a choice here. You only get one of them.
Give me the receiver.
What do you say, Axie?
Same here.
You guys kind of surprised me. Why is that, Matt?
Running backs kind of been plug and play with Heupel. Going even back to his UCF days. I mean, they're going to run for over 2,000 yards regardless of who's back there. And the way you win games now is you got to stretch the field vertically and passing games, and you need those big play receivers.
And they haven't had many of those that you like.
More trouble developing receivers than running backs.
And they haven't really had one since Hyatt.
X, is that the reason you went there? Because let me say this. I would love to see, just to see it, what a really special talent at running back could do in this offense. How many yards can you rush for when you're constantly into the second level before somebody contacts you? And if you get somebody back there that can carry the mail and take it all the way, every time they touch it, what would that look like in this offense? We haven't seen it because we haven't seen one of those guys. I'm not trying to take the other side of it, but I would have thought one of you guys would have said that. I'm saying that. I don't know whether that's a fair and valid thought, but X, you were with Matt. Why? And Brian.
Now, Tony, the running back selection there does make sense because if you have, safeties and linebackers that have to pay much more attention to, an explosive running back who, if he gets a step, he's gone.
Yep.
Which I think this Hiker kid probably brings it. Maybe some of our Heupel's running backs in the past haven't had. That in turn may allow, receivers more of an opportunity to take the top off of the defense. But I'll take Keys probably 10 times out of 10 because I think the whole significant part of some of the problems Tennessee's offense has experienced is they just haven't had a receiver that defensive coordinators respected to stretch the field. And I think Keys fits that bill for Tennessee.
Here's a silly question for you guys, Matt, for you too. How many SEC teams in the upper echelon have a wide receiver like that? Because, Matt, we made the playoffs last year without a wide receiver like that. But you could make the case that, at least it seems to me, that most of these teams have a great wide receiver in this league. Unless I'm missing something. Or am I missing something, Matt? Is that an overstatement? I'm talking about the top echelon teams now. Generally speaking, you're going to have a sort of a pro level.
Like a Ryan Williams from Alabama. That kind of guy.
A pro level guy. Texas has them. A&M has one. Alabama had a couple.
Georgia surprisingly hasn't really had.
Georgia has not. That's right. That's right.
They've been kind of the unique one with that.
Yeah.
But Texas's were really good last year.
Missouri's had them. And even their
Oklahoma's had them in the past.
Yeah.
And, obviously, LSU has. I mean, they always have talent, but they usually have pretty good receivers.
Yeah.
Florida really hasn't, and that's one of the reasons they've kind of been down.
It's a good point on the wide receiver, guys, because it is a perimeter game. And yet part of me says, man, I would just love to see what it looks like. If you will, we can go to days past. Just a great, great talent at running back. Hey, the kid last year was a nice player. But a great talent back there. What would that look like? Because so many times when they call these plays, so many times the first contact you make is second level. And if you can run away with somebody and you can make people miss, what would that look? I mean, I get chills thinking about watching a hole open up in Neyland Stadium from the end zone view and just seeing that stadium rise to its feet in Heupel's offense with a special talent and the ability to move the sticks on a second and third and long, which is what you would get if you had somebody like that back there.
The closest thing Coach Heupel's had to that is that Lane kid.
Yeah.
Who I think ended up going to Louisville. But, I can remember just, a play against Florida, a play against Missouri, and I think a play against Carolina where he got past the defensive line or he got, on the outside, he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And so on the way out, Axie, how busy over the next couple weeks is it going to be? Or are we going to go dormant? And these 5-star guys, do they come down soon? Or does this take a while to play out?
Yeah. I think I'd mentioned back at the 1st of July when I wrote something for you that I think Tennessee still got 3 or 4 really elite level talents on the board. And I fully expect those recruitments to go some distance. I kind of think Keys may go into the season. The Harris kid who's committed to Auburn, he's an edge player. I think he'll go a while. But then it's really going to be interesting to see what happens with Salisi Moa, who's a two-way player out of Utah.
Yep.
And the running back that we've been talking about from Virginia. I think the longer it goes for Moa, I think the more you like Tennessee. I just don't know what to make of the running back. I almost think he's one where if he commits now before it gets in the season, it's probably better for Tennessee.
Hey, Matt, I want Samoan offensive linemen. I want Samoan defensive linemen. I want Samoan linebackers. I'm not sure I want another throw and get mowing then, though, Matt. I want all those. I'm not sure I want another throw and get mowing, Matt, if you feel what I'm saying. Do you feel
I get you.
Okay. Because I love those guys. Hey, this Peely guy last year, Matt, give me 5 of those dudes. You imagine fighting him on the back of the bus? She. As they say in the trade. Exy, do you have anything else for us? And I appreciate the wonderful, thorough, terrific job that you do for us over at tclub.team. Anything else for us on the way out? It's been great breaking bread with you today.
Yeah, I've got one thing. I'm the first one that criticizes the offensive staff because I think their recruiters are average at best. But I will say they added Seth Luttrell as an analyst, and they also added Landry Jones. And I think the addition of those two analysts, one who's coached with Heupel, the other who played for him at quarterback, I think those alone will help out this year. And I think we'll see improvements in the offense for those two reasons. Probably improvement in, just a variety of different play calls, and hopefully, Landry Jones can help our starting quarterback get a little bit more comfortable quicker. But I think that I'm hopeful, I'll say, that Luttrell has kind of an Alex Golesh impact on the offense. Maybe he's at, he's that devil's advocate or that strong personality that can, speak up in meetings and so on and so forth. So that's the only thing I wanted to add. I enjoyed it as always.
Love you, brother. Thanks, man.
All right. Take care.
Sexy Exy one more time. 865-200-5402. Let's go to the phones. He joined in our TLD Logistics hotline. He's presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. He's in John Adams' absence today. Made a lot more sense than John Adams. In fact, talked about a guy decommitting from LSU. Would John Adams ever get on here and do that? Matt Dixon, would John ever get on here and talk about a guy decommitting from his beloved Bengal Tigers? Show your role.
No chance.
Yeah. Adams is kind of a clown. Oh, he's out looking at the Swallows of Capistrano today somewhere. I like birds, Matt. Just not enough to go look at them, though. But birds are kind of fascinating if you stop and think about it. We have a couple bird feeders in our yard. You a bird guy, Matt?
No, not really.
Interesting. So my friends over at VIP Play have dropped lines. They've got lines for every Tennessee game this year. And they also have lines for every Titan game this year if you go to their specials tab. But I'm going to go through a couple of these. Matt, are you surprised that while Phil Steele has the Oklahoma game as a pick'em, they've got it at -3.5 for the Vols, and Tennessee -177 on the money lines? Does that surprise you, Matt?
No, I figured it would be kind of around there because the home field advantage deal. There's usually 2 or 3 games a year where Phil Steele's line is like a field goal or so different than the consensus, and which is kind of unique. And he, all the Vegas stuff is all strictly numbers, whereas Phil kind of adds in a little bit of kind of like just the personal stuff, like the scheduling dynamics there are revenge factors and like some unique stuff like that he adds into his line. So I wouldn't have been surprised if Tennessee was a slight favorite or Oklahoma, or it's kind of a pick'em deal. So, I would have been surprised if Oklahoma's favored.
I sent those numbers when Will Heflin gave them to me over to C yesterday. And C said that the VIP Play model believes the Vols are winning 8.7 football games. That's the implied probability of wins based on the roster. If those of you that read today's blog, several thousand strong, think that I came up with that, That was not me. I guarantee you Matt Dixon said Basilio didn't know that 8.7 win. Basically, C plugged it into his formula that he has, or a formula that exists. I don't know if it's his formula, but a formula that exists. And 8.7 wins, when you add up the money line, the spreads, the whole deal, and essentially it comes down to 2 swing games. Here's the thing with Josh Heupel. There's an Easter egg in there, Matt. Now, it was about a year ago. Brian Hartman unearthed the Easter egg, Matt, last year. Do you remember that? And I ripped him. On here. Because, Matt, what is the Easter egg? You know what I'm talking about. What is the Easter egg for the uninitiated when it comes to Heupel?
The road loss is a favorite where your team just comes out and just doesn't play well at all.
Yep. They flatline like the throw and get mowing.
Yeah. Arkansas last year. Obviously, South Carolina in 22 will be the poster child for this as long as Heupel's here. But even the last time they went to Florida, I think they were favored.
He did it at Tulsa.
Maybe like close to a touchdown.
Didn't they have a UCF team that was a big time favorite on the road at Tulsa and did that? They went out and flatlined and got smoked.
Yeah.
So it's been been a deal.
It's not like they're little favorites. It's like when they're a double digit, like 2 touchdown favorite, these happen.
Oh yeah. That South Carolina game, people can blame Connor Stallions all you want. Hey, fine. Did he give Arkansas the coordinates last year? I mean, I'm just checking for a friend. See, that's the thing about the Connor Stallions thing, Matt, is I want to say, yeah, that's exactly what happened, and they threw sand all over the field and all those things, but did Arkansas do that last year? Did they throw sand all over the field? It's so strange with this head coach. It's very, very odd. And one is left to wonder, because I'm going over this with C last night, and he goes, where is it, Tony? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, where's that game? Where's that game this year? What are the possibilities, Matt? Could it be the Kentucky game? And how sickening would that be, Matt? If they went up there to a 3 or 4 win Kentucky team and let them have a field day on our expense. And here's the other thing about these games. It's not like they're, like Matt said, they're touchdown and a half favorites sometimes in these things, and they get smoked in these games. Or, Matt, do we deviate this year and it doesn't happen? Or is it in there somewhere? Is that an Easter egg in there somewhere? Maybe Syracuse. That would qualify.
I think it's in there. I mean, and maybe it's just baked into either the Bama or Florida games, and you just get smoked in one of those two, or you're non-competitive. In a weird way, that might be the best case scenario to add in the Georgia and you punt that one. But if you don't have the stinker the rest of the way, you could potentially still win 9 or 10 games.
Yeah.
But I mean, at Mississippi State would be the one this year.
Can you imagine that?
Like Brian said, the Arkansas one last year, they're kind of the same spot on your schedule.
Matt, Brian, I want you to, not today, but next week I'm going to ask you, because we're going to do this as a topic. Next week, Brian, I want you to tell me, because Brian thought about it last year, and he came back. I gave him the assignment. He said it's going to happen at Arkansas, Tony. Maybe Brian looks at that schedule this year and he says it's not going to happen. Brian, do you remember how much I ridiculed you in the moment when you said that last year? You talk about a horrendous take by me, and I'm a takesman. I'm not afraid to have a take on here.
Well, I kind of look at doing the opposite this year. Everyone's punting that Florida game. I want to say that the line reflects what I said last week about how that's very much in play, especially you don't know how they're going to be after the grueling schedule they've had. And I don't know that Mississippi State or Kentucky have enough team to be that on the schedule this year. Arkansas is sort of down there, may have had enough team. I might have thought they had enough team to do it. I don't know that those teams will. So it's going to be harder to come up with because Florida and Alabama is the obvious answer about a road stinker.
Hey, Matt, that 5.5 to 1 favorite with Syracuse, if you were like a recreational gambler, like to just play around a little bit, that might be worth throwing $100 on Syracuse till you see Tennessee's quarterback play. Until you go back and look at it, because I was looking at it last night, Syracuse lost a bunch of players in the spring portal. I mean, they were still leaking oil into the spring portal. They lost.
You don't know about Syracuse quarterback either.
They're going to suck. Brian, they're going to suck.
No, they got that Notre Dame backup that Tennessee kind of passed on. And I think, did he leave after the spring too?
He did, yes. Steve Angeli. He lost the job in the spring. He wasn't even their
I don't
backup.
know about the spread in that game, but I would hammer the under, whatever that is.
To the phones we go. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to Kowalski and say, give me some unders. Give me some totals. He's going to go, aren't you ever happy? Aren't you ever happy, Basilio? And the answer is no, Robert Kowalski.
Ask him if he thinks you're a casual, because, I mean, you want the real stuff.
What is he? Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks you're a casual, Tone.
This guy's a punk and a clown. Let's go back to our phones. But, yeah, over at VIP Play, they've got all that in a bag of tricks. 200-plus leagues, always live. Get the app. Use the promo code TNTony. You can go over to their thing over at tclub.team, the link, and click on it. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air. Then we'll get as many people in here as humanly possible.
Hey, y'all. This is William.
Hey, William. Go right ahead. Did you get your gift cards, William?
I was about to get to that. Yes, sir, I did.
Right on, brother.
I'd like to thank you very much.
Well, I'd like to thank you. You're a great caller. You set the pace every day.
Thank you, Tony. Anyway, so my dad was telling me about Tennessee having stinker games every year. Is every time on the road, you play a team that you think you're going to beat, but then you end up playing like garbage, like how you did at Arkansas. And there's obviously probably going to be one this year between either Mississippi State or Kentucky, in my opinion.
Those are the two candidates that meet your description, unless they kind of throw a curveball to us and just get it out of the way with Syracuse, in which case we will be on here looking ahead to 2026 if we go out there against Syracuse and look awful. I'll be on here saying, bring on Faison. Can we reclassify a guy, Matt, and bring him in September if we lose to Syracuse? Can we break a new boundary here?
Going to throw Joey Football out after one game?
No! Joey Football is my guy, man. Joey Football is my guy, unless we lose to Syracuse.
Unless he goes to Syracuse, yeah, he ain't. Yeah.
But he's my guy right now.
But, yeah.
He's kind of my boy, really, if you stop and think about it.
Yeah. Really? Well, I mean, that would make sense. I don't know if he's going to be better than Nico.
You know, the throw and get mowing was quite the rage till he wasn't. 1 year ago today, Matt, I had I think tempered expectations for Nico. I'm going to own this now. He was somewhere between Michael Vick, Charlie Ward, and Randall Cunningham meeting Cam Newton, all rolled into one, Matt. I had extremely tempered expectations for him, some of the rhetoric I was carrying on with last summer, Matt. You talk about an embarrassment. I'm an embarrassment.
It was a little over the top, which you usually don't do, which is what made it really surprising that it didn't pan out.
Yes! William, you're my man. What are you spending your $50 on, and you can go right online, put the codes in, and get you something really, really nice at Alumni Hall. What are you looking at, William? You need a shirt, a hat, a jersey, a jersey. What are you looking at, Will?
I have to look on their website, see what all they got for the Tennessee Volunteers.
Well, you're my man, William. Much love to you. That's my guy right there. Don't mess with William. He sets a pace every day, like pace. He's our pace setter.
I'm encouraged that you like Alabama so much this year.
TLD Logistics.
Because maybe they'll have an 8-4 type season.
TLD
instead.
Logistics phone line. The dragging of me continues, but it's a self-dragging. I deserve it because that was a horrendous summer I had last summer. I blew up throw and get mowing, and then I ripped that kid that played safety. The white safety. That kid was whiter than white at safety. And he came right out in that first game and took a ball back to the house. It's unbelievable, Andy. Hello and welcome into our next call. What a moron I am.
Hey, what's going on, Tone? Who's your ball runner?
There he is. There he is, my man. There he is.
You know what? One of my favorite on Will Brooks, speaking of last year, I bet Matt Dixon, with his vehement hatred for Kentucky, remembers this. One of my favorite clips and plays from last year. Remember when Brooks picked off the Kentucky, they put the backup in after we hurt the transfer from Georgia, and he picked one off, and it pretty much completely changed the momentum. And he's running, and he gets caught, and behind him is Boo Carter, and he just throws his hands up in exasperation, like, I can't believe you got caught. And it was so funny. That's one of my favorite plays of the year. But he almost took two back last year because he should have took that one, but he got slow there at the end.
Well, you know, the funny thing about last year is, and you put yourself in my shoes, okay? I want to see my guys win. I don't care what happens. Do you know how drug I got from my friends on my text messages when that kid took that ball back against NC State? And then he did it again later in the year. He did it like 3 or 4 times. Not only did the guy intercept balls, but he like had a propensity to bring them back. Like his big plays were loud, man. They were loud.
Game-winning interception against Bama. Had that touchdown tackle on Milrow in the open field.
Yes, that's right. At midfield. That's exactly right, Matt. That's exactly right.
Yeah. He's going to have a play that lives in Third Saturday, October lore for forever, but yeah.
And Basilio spent his summer vacation at Ocean City, beachside, ripping the guy. Like, I can distinctly remember propping my feet up out there in an 80-degree Jersey day at the Jersey Shore with all those paisans around me, and they're looking up at me like, what is this guy doing? And why is he going on and on about this Brooks guy? Even my neighbor for that week was looking at me like, would you please? Because I had to declare a moratorium on it at one point.
Well, Tone, I think you and I both have a gift listening to you a lot. You hear my phone calls that we tend to say the things other people think but won't say out loud because we just maybe don't have that filter. When you got a walk-on that's a white boy in the secondary of the Southeastern Conference, I mean, they wouldn't come out and say it, but they were thinking it too. I mean, come on.
No doubt
Kirby
about it.
Smart's the last one I can think of down there in Georgia getting run over by guy that played for the Ravens. I'm blanking. Jamal Lewis.
Hey, Matt, that was one of my favorite clips. Kirby Dunn getting trucked by Jamal Lewis is one of the greatest things ever. Matt, are you wait a second, though. Kirby Dunn played he played like 94, 90. I'm not sure they cross paths. Maybe they did in 97.
Well, I don't know.
They did. They did.
They did cross paths, Matt?
Yeah.
Kirby would have been a senior and Jamal a freshman.
Yeah, I've got the clip on Twitter. I put one together of their highlights.
Because Kirby,
it's why he circles the Tennessee game so much and wants it so bad.
Yeah, it's come back to bite us because now his teams are always ready to play against Tennessee.
Kirby used to wear the half shirt. He wore the half shirt back then, Ryan, if you remember. And he had his belly sticking out of his half shirt.
Those were great. To the topic at hand, after that brief diversion, we cannot let A&M outbid us for this Keys kid.
No.
I mean, you cannot let that happen. Come on. But I would agree with you all. We got to get the wide out. But isn't it weird? I was thinking in my head as I was on hold, Ezekiel Elliott comes to mind. Who is the current stud from a Big Ten school? Well, your boy Saquon Barkley, but they're not in the running. That is the current stud Big Ten running back if we're going to lose him up north. Why wouldn't he come here? Is it that negative recruiting that we run this offense that doesn't get you ready when Michigan and Ohio State, sure, they got the history, but who's the current Big Ten stud NFL back other than Saquon?
Well, your point is well taken. There are no stud running backs anymore. Running back has become a position like a lot of these positions where it's platoon football. That's what made what Barkley did last year so bizarre. I mean, he literally carried the Eagles to the Super Bowl. He just carried everybody. I mean, he was when's the last time we've seen that in that sport? He was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was seeing all year.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the X Talk, and I've been following it too. To me, Hitter, I don't know. It's an unusual name. The Virginia running back and the Mississippi wideout Keys that everyone has known is Tennessee's very much in it for the last month and a half. Guys, if we're going to win a championship, 10-2 as the Big Ten and the SEC, we found out last year because you can't get around Georgia, because we can't get around Georgia. All 10-2s aren't created equal. Indiana and Penn State lost 1 and 2 games collectively. I can't remember off the top of my head because neither one is even close to Ohio State. You're never going to win a championship. It's not going 10-2. If we're going to win a championship, we have to have the quality of athletes, not just to go 10-2, because Georgia went 10-2 last year and won a championship. You got to be good enough to beat Georgia and a full-throated Bama and LSU. And we need these kids to get there, in my humble opinion.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's always been a playmaker's game. I mean, it's a game in the trenches, but the modern game now, you got to have those skill players, more so now than ever. Obviously, the trenches are important, both sides of the line of scrimmage, but, man, those satellite players. That's why this Legend Bay guy is interesting, and athletes like that. And that's what makes the college game, to me, the wider hash marks and more space to operate offensively than you get in the pro game, to me, makes the college game, it makes it a more palatable version of the game, in my opinion. And you got to take advantage of that. You got to have those guys. But I do think one could make the case that a tremendous run away from your running back, Matt, a really talented running back, would be really fun to watch in this offense. And my debate skills, I put that out there. I think a guy that could run away from a secondary, because constantly you are in the second level in this offense. They scheme you into the second level as a running back. That's why I can't believe you can't go find one, Matt. It looks like such a fun offense. Plus, I'll throw the ball out of the backfield to you if you can catch it. I would have thought they could have done better with running backs, Matt. That's been a surprising thing to me.
Yeah, but they have done well on the field.
Yes, they have.
They just haven't had the dynamic guy, and for whatever reason, they don't involve the running backs in the passing game as much as I think they should.
I would, yes.
They just haven't done that. It's just not been part of Heupel's offense, which I wish they would fix that. But I mean, you had the SEC Player of the Year last year in your backfield. I think
great player.
You've averaged over 200 yards on the ground every year. So really, like, if you want these dynamic game changers, I mean, obviously those big plays, we don't have a ton of them on the ground, but the production overall, it's hard to top what they already are doing.
I just think it'd be very interesting to see, but we'll go back to the phones at 865-200-5402. If you want to hunt mix with us, X was great today, and we've got some calls based on our conversation with X. So, X, thank you for that. My friends at VIP Play want to encourage you. Lines for all Tennessee football games. No other sports book in the state of Tennessee has them all. The football games are available for now you to bet on. You can go over to tclub.team and check them out today. Click on their link, check it out. TN Tony is our promo code. Again, TN Tony. You bet $5 or more, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly showing up in your account. Remember as well, Profit Boost, 25% on Major League parlays, 3 picks or more. Also, always live, 200 leagues. Brian, what ended up happening in that women's tennis match we were watching earlier today? Did Sabalenka fall?
Yes, the American one, Amanda Amisanova or something like that.
The world's number one fell.
The 13 seed, yeah, the number 1 seed fell to the 13th seeded American.
Pretty huge upset there. She smoked her like a joint cigarette. Got her in the first set. Sabalenka came back, got her in the second set, and then the show started. And I don't put the TV on when I'm on the air because I got to focus. Because when I tell you I'm fired up, focused, and prepared, the focus part, Matt will tell you, I'll stay fired up with you. And I do walk in here prepared, but the focus part from time to time, well, it's been known to, Lance will tell you that too. As we'll be out there with fountains. What am I doing here? See, I'm losing my focus. Live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous types of bets, props, options. Look, if you can't find the bet of your choice that you're looking for, reach out to my man Robert Killer Kowalski. They'll make the bet for you. Several people have. Kowalski's like, man, you got people that want to bet on everything. I said, yeah. I realize that. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. We're going to go back to our phones. I cannot wait to visit with you. It is a great Thursday. Hopefully the weather holds off. Matt's going to be over at the ballpark tonight watching the Smokies. I'm going to be playing music. It's a beautiful thing. We're down at Lenore City, down at Calhoun's in Lenore. Bring your instrument. Come down with us. Hang out. So we continue with more after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Your Smokies are back home this week, and so many great promotions every single night, like all-you-can-eat Wednesday and Thirsty Thursday with half-off draft beers. But this Thursday, we also have dueling pianos. Friday, we're celebrating Shark Week style.
Captain America.
Saturday, Captain America, the Hulk, you name it. It's Marvel Superhero Night with a free comic book giveaway. And we close the week on Sunday with Pete the Cat.
Here comes Pete.
Grab your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Since 2001, High Branch Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has been the trusted and preferred name for over 70,000 Knoxville locals. Looking for expert plumbing services and HVAC services, including repairs, replacements, or maintenance. Voted Best Plumber in Knoxville and one of Knoxville's best HVAC companies 7 years in a row. High Branch is a fully licensed mechanical contractor and committed to excellence and craftsmanship, so you can trust our certified experts to go above and beyond to meet your plumbing and HVAC needs, no matter what problem arises. We also make it easy with transparent pricing, free on-site estimates for replacements, and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Hey, whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Tony B back with you. 865-200-5402. Quick story, and then we go back to the phone. So we're playing music at Calhoun's on the Marina tonight, which is beautiful down there. Absolutely beautiful. We ought to do a summer show down there. We ought to have like a just a Friday barbecue down there one day. I'm going to reach out to them. We ought to do that. And before we go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines, probably like 2018, 2019, I'm down there with Lancey and Davey Boy Bivens. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. There's a thunderstorm just blowing and going down there. Lightning popping all around us. And I have this aversion to that stuff. I do not like lightning. We're all different. Some people don't like spiders and snakes. I don't like lightning. Those guys are sitting there just playing. We played Led Zeppelin, the Rain song. Like, we leaned into it. And I'm sitting there with my mandolin. It's all plugged in, you know. And that lightning's blowing all around us. So finally, I just unplugged my instrument. And they just sat there and kept playing. I mean, Matt, could you imagine that? Who would do that, Matt? Who would do that, Matt? I mean, who would sit there and play plugged in? You got to be a brain donor.
Tony Vitello would.
Go! He's a weatherman. One of these local stations ought to lean into it. I guess that would be Channel 8, right, Matt? Is that their affiliate? Are Channel 8 still doing that? The Voice of the Vols or whatever? They ought to have Tony over there. Yeah. They ought to have Tony over there doing the weather forecast. He's his own meteorologist. Hello and welcome. He's not very good at it. Hello and welcome into our next call. Hey, you're on the TLD Logistics phone line.
Sam in Nashville.
Hey, Sam, welcome in.
Yeah, my dad's buddy got hit on a golf course when he was young, hit by lightning.
He doesn't play with lightning, does he? Your dad doesn't play with it. I respect it. So I know a guy that got struck twice. A farmer near my house got struck twice by lightning. Lived to tell about it both times.
Well, let's hope the Vols can strike lightning in something this year. That's all I'm saying.
Love that.
But yeah, I was going to agree on. I really like the under on that Syracuse game. I can see that being like 24-10 type game.
What do you think the
Both
number
teams
would
not
be?
knowing.
You sound like a guy that plays the ponies. When we see that number, what's it going to be?
The over-under?
Yeah. What will the total be?
It's 55.5 right now.
Oh, is it 55? Okay. That's a lot of points. 55 and a half.
I don't think Syracuse is going to score.
How in the hell are those two teams going to combine for 55 and a half points?
I don't think they will.
Wow.
I really don't. Yeah,
Wow.
And if I were to parlay it together, I'd take Tennessee minus 13.5 and the under. Like a 27-10 game, 31-14, something like that.
I agree with that. I feel you there, because I don't think the Angeli kid, the guys that give us fits are the guys that can run around and make plays a little bit, and he's a statue. We're going to get him on the ground a bunch, I believe. Plus, they lost their best offensive lineman right at the end of the portal season, who jumped in the portal and left.
I don't know how these coaches deal with it. I really don't.
I couldn't.
It's beyond me.
No, you couldn't pay me enough to do that.
No, but here's another fun. That DB we got, Colton Hood. He had 2 interceptions last year and averaged 55 on the return. Let's hope he's our upgraded Will Brooks for the year.
There you go. I love guys that can make plays, man. Give me some ball skills and take them back.
That's right. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on. I would love to see an elite running back in this offense. I mean, I know we need receivers, but it would really be fun. Jalen Wright had some of it. He did. But
He did. Yeah, he did. He was really Matt. What kept him from being elite? What keeps Wright from? And who knows? Maybe he goes on and has a great pro career. What's the piece, Matt? Do you feel like?
I just don't think he broke a ton of tackles. He had that real top end speed, and he didn't have a lot of like shiftiness to break tackles and like juke people. He had a lot of straight line speed, and I think his last year here he had some fumbling issues, but he's the closest thing we've had to it because I mean Jabari Small wasn't a game breaker. But no, yeah, Jalen Wright would be. He had that one, I guess, the first play of that Georgia game in 23, where he just outran their secondary. But yeah, I just don't think he had a lot of breaking tackle and make guys miss, as opposed to just running past people.
Kind of like guys. This is unfair to say, right? But that guy from Boise State last year was like a freak show when you watched him. I mean, he could run in traffic, run over people, run around people. I mean, you imagine that dude in Tennessee's offense getting into the second level, isolated on a safety or a corner or a linebacker, just in space, and they got to get him on the ground one-on-one. That's what I'm talking about. That would be immensely fun. Interesting just to see it, right?
yeah, I mean, whether it's an 80-yard pass or an 80-yard run, it's 6 points.
That's correct.
So,
Last time I checked. Yes, give it to me. That's right.
Hey, I've been off work this week, so I've been overly obsessed looking up stats. I got a fun one for Tennessee fans. So we brought in Sam Pendleton and Wendell Moe to play guards. They combined for 1,242 snaps last year, 0 sacks given up, and Wendell Moe had no penalties the whole year. I'll take it.
Anytime you get to doing that, email me, man. I'd love for you to blog for me. If you look stuff like that up, I'd love to include you in what we do. People that deep dive like that, give it to us one more time.
Wendell Moe and Sam Pendleton. Wendell Moe is going to be our left guard, Sam Pendleton right guard. 1,242 snaps last year, 0 sacks given up, and Wendell Moe did not commit one penalty.
Hey, Dixon, will you Will you drink to that? Go ahead. Go ahead. You were going to say, go ahead. About
Wendell Moe
yeah.
has not given up a sack in 19 straight games.
Give me the Polynesian power, brah.
And you got a 5-star tackle, Dave Sanders, too, added to that.
Give me the Polynesian power, y'all. Power of Polynesia.
Interview with Dominic Bailey.
Yep.
Yes, last night, and he said they asked him who's he been giving you the business on the offensive line. He said Lance Hurd. I expect him to be one of the top linemen in the SEC this year. So
he's in condition.
I'm drinking the O-line Kool-Aid.
Why not? What choice do we have, man? Hey, those guys better be good because they have a quarterback back there. Chances are he's not going to know what he's doing. So let's hope that piece of it is solved, and then you can build out on that quarterback as the year goes along. But listen, I appreciate the call. Thank you. And please email me, commonfan@gmail.com, or head over to tclub.team and click on Email Tony. I would love to incorporate you in what we do, and I will do that. I'm not afraid to highlight people or share the spotlight or whatever. Let's get our next call in because you make it better, we all make it better, and you're a hell of a caller. Hello and welcome in on the TLD Logistics phone line. You're on the air.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, welcome in.
I'm with you. Thanks, buddy. I'm with you. I think you're right. It would be an elite running back over elite receiver in recruiting that I would rather have in this offense. Our receivers are going to get schemed up and get open. There was time, even with Squirrel with one shoulder last year and Brazil not having a great year, we still had guys running free, and it wasn't elite talent. We just couldn't hit them. Even with the changes in defenses that teams are throwing at us, we're still getting guys open enough. I would love to see like the kid at Boise State last year would have been just stupid in this offense. We get guys on linebackers and secondary in space so much at the running back, and one guy that could like you said, Jalen Wright, great speed, didn't have much wiggle. That's his real issue. He's not going to make guys miss. He's not got great balance to where he's going to stay on his feet and take contact and then keep going. That kid from Boise State would have ran for 3,000 yards last year the way Dylan Sampson had space. Not taking anything away from Sampson. We just could have been better with an elite back.
That would have been so much fun to see that Genty guy. I mean, that would have been just...
Oh.
Are you kidding me? And I'm just curious to see, like I'm with our fellow from Nashville just called, I'm just curious to see what that looks like. I mean, just to see it, because truly we have not seen it here. And it's odd to me because if I were a great running back, I would absolutely relish the opportunity to play in this offense. Or I don't mean the kid last year was a great college player. I'm talking about like one of the high-end guys. I don't know why they can't get him because they've been involved with several.
I think, Peyton Lewis was pretty highly rated, but I think they're spending their money and going harder on trying to recruit defensive guys because they believe offensively the scheme's more important than the elite talent on offense, and they want elite guys on defense because you have to have talent on defense. You can't do but so much on defense with scheming. It has to be you got dudes that can just go. So I think that might be a little bit to do with it.
Good for Josh Heupel.
We're going to be good on offense.
Yeah, good for Heupel if that's a fact. Because I thought about him early on. Here's a guy that loves his numbers, that wants his numbers, and all he cares about is his numbers. But if that's in fact what they're doing, that's a complete approach to this thing. That's a mature, complete approach.
It makes sense. I mean, the receivers in 2022 that made that offensive elite aren't exactly killing it at the NFL level, and I don't buy into the route tree college, it doesn't translate thing. I just think we get guys open, and whether they make it in the NFL is on them or not. But anyway, the narrative about the stinker on the road, I think it might be a little overblown. The stinker at Arkansas last year was just our quarterback missed open guys, and we roughed the punter with the lead in the fourth quarter. And if we don't, it's just kind of a fluke thing. The South Carolina game is a much worse, because Arkansas was a decent football team last year. Arkansas was a pretty good team. They played Texas pretty close. They won some ball games last year. They weren't terrible, and it was a night game, and they were hyped for us. South Carolina team wasn't a good football team, and we just, whether it was the James Banks thing or whether them having our signals and their whole wristband and their all that stuff that they supposedly had, I don't know that the stinker thing's as big as we make it out to be. It's tough to win on the road in the SEC.
That's a damn truth. Now he's got a good point there, guys. And thank you, Rusty. That's a good point. One thing about this league is, and that's the thing that separates this league from any of the other ones, when you go on the road in this deal, you're going to walk into a pretty full stadium unless you're playing at Vanderbilt. You're going to walk into NFL football players on the other side of the line of scrimmage unless you're playing at Vanderbilt. And for the most part, you're going to be in for a dogfight. And you better play your best. Or you better play well anyway. Any final thoughts, guys? Matt, you have anything on the way out here? We'll bring Brother Bino will be with us tomorrow. I got to get out of here and get some work done before I get out of here and get some work done. We're going to be limited to 2 hours. No TLD Logistics Overdrive overtime today. But it's not because I don't love you, because you know I love you. You know I'm for you.
Thank God for Justin Verlander, Tone. Right?
Brian gets
Why
a
the
shot.
hell does he not just retire?
He's pretty roached. Let's see. Let's see.
Like, is there a milestone he's trying to get to?
I don't know. You think maybe things aren't happy on the home front? He's like, I mean, maybe that lady's a handful, you know?
She's certainly some handfuls, yeah. I don't know. He was good with the Astros, except in the World Series. He's awful. His career in the playoffs is really bad. It's like Kershaw level bad.
He's roached. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
He looks like toast. Yesterday, he looked like. When the Phillies are hitting you, trust me, you're toast. You're toast.
I'm not sure even Vitello would go after him if he was in the portal.
Oh, sure he would.
I guess fun show. I always enjoy when X is on because I say it all the time. I don't follow recruiting at all, and I get like 90% of my Tennessee football recruiting stuff based on X. So it's always good when he can come on and kind of further explain some of his things because it's a really complex deal, especially now with the portal and just everything that goes into it. I don't even fool with it anymore. So
I want to encourage you to head over to tclub.team. X will continue to write there. We've got some great stuff tomorrow. Throaty's going to drop some knowledge on you. Tomorrow we're going to talk about these goofy uniforms. Throaty's going to dunk on them. And I'm not a big fan, but hey, what can I say? Hey, what can I say? Appreciate your peace. Love you. God bless. G to the B to the O. And tomorrow we'll be in here with Bino. But listen anyway. Peace.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
For those of you listening on all the ships at sea, let's run back today's effort because today was a lot of fun. Very quick, brisk program today. Let's see here. Shout out to Bobby Dooley at the Western Estates Center. Maybe Lloyd Bonafide. Let's see here.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tony Basilio proudly brings to you the tag team champions of the world, course, I'm talking about none other than Matt Dixon and Brian Hartman, a.k.a. D-Generation X. Gentlemen, hope you all both are well.
Yep.
Hope you
doing good.
Hope you both are
Hope
fired
your
up.
sinus is better.
Hope you both are fired up, folks. No. My sinuses aren't going to be better until it gets to be about September. I was talking with the great Ben Zorio last night. He and I are both going through it. Several people are going through it right now. It's as bad as it's been maybe ever here. Under Pressure is my theme song this summer. Under Pressure. As we are fired up to be with you today. Essie is going to join us. Our recruiting analyst X, a.k.a. Sexy DXE, is going to join. And today we're going to talk about, in the first hour, what Tennessee's been able to accomplish on the recruiting trail. Speaking of the recruiting trail, Matt, your boy Tony Vitello appears locally yesterday and is out there blasting somebody in the league, Matt. Who's he blasting, Matt? Because my belief is that he's blasting either Georgia. Georgia was poaching around on a few guys, or LSU. That's my belief, Matt. Who are you going to side with? Who is Tony Vitello blasting?
Those two are potentially Schlossnagle at Texas. I'd be stunned if it's not one of those three.
These people. Now, do you love these coaches like Tony? Because Tony's quote is something to the effect of, it's not that they're tampering with his players, it's that they're quietly tampering with his players. Matt, is that, if I'm to understand his beef here with, I'm going to say it's Jay Johnson at LSU, because I believe Jay Johnson has come hard at a literal trio of Tennessee players, including Levi Clark and including the Coons guy. I believe that, in fact, is the case. My friends at VIP Play have put out lines for every game. I don't know, Matt, if you've seen this, but the more I stare at this schedule, Matt, I could be talking myself into this. God, this is an easy schedule, Matt. This Syracuse team can't play dead in the Western, brah. 5.5 wins is their win total, Matt. What are we doing? Out of the ACC, Matt? What are we doing?
No, it's second straight year. You've got a chance to rack up some wins and be in that playoff conversation. Even if you're not probably truly one of the 10 or 12 best teams in the country, you can still find yourself in that discussion at the end of the year if you handle your business against the teams you're supposed to, and then win one or two games that are kind of tossed, maybe you're underdogs in.
The way I think about this thing now that we're getting down the track on it is, you got two games you're not winning, and that's Georgia and Alabama. And if you win either one of those two games, hey, man, let's go. But if you don't, that's fine. Because then you've got 7 games you're winning no matter what. 7 of those games you're winning no matter what. I mean, from here. And then 2 swing games. Your 2 swing games are Florida and Oklahoma. And it's all going to depend on how beat up those 2 teams are by the time you get to them. So, Sexy Xie's going to join us. We're going to talk about Tennessee's momentum in recruiting. It looks to me, and none of these years are ever the same, and I hate to say this out loud, but I wrote it today, so I'm going to say it out loud because it's a thought I had when looking at their schedule. That schedule's so bad. Oklahoma and Florida could have much better teams than Tennessee and both finish 7-5. They could be a lot better and finish 7-5. Tennessee's got those 2 losable games and those 2 swing games, and those are their 4 football games on the schedule this year. And that's the truth. Florida plays at LSU, at Miami, Texas, at A&M, Georgia, at Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State. Matt, if we played that schedule, what would our record be? Would we win 6 of them against that competition? With the Joey footballness of it all? Because that would be very difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think you find 6, but you're certainly not winning. I mean, I'd say 8 would be probably the ceiling with that.
8 would
and that's if a lot of things go right. Yeah, that would be a really tough draw.
And then the Sooners play Michigan, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, us, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, and then we throw in Missouri for a kicker. And the reason I put Missouri in there is that I'm just looking at games that are losable for them. They have 9 losable football games. And if they go 4-5 in those games, they'll finish 7-5. We have 4 losable football games, not 9. They play twice as many, what you would call games of consequence, than we do. So we'll talk later on in the show about it. But Tennessee's a double-digit favorite in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of their 12 football games so far, they're a double-digit favorite. And a 9.5-point favorite against Kentucky. So 2/3 of their games, basically, they're a double-digit favorite. It's wild.
Fortune is shining on the better coach like Heupel, where sometimes losers like Dooley and Jones get saddled with a lot of misfortune, and that can include scheduling.
That's a good point, Bri. Winners win. Bri's got a good point right there. When we continue, Exie joins us. We're going to get up with Exie. I want to talk to Exie about what Tennessee's been able to do on the recruiting trail thus far, and what it all means. And then also, Matt and Brian, living listener, misstep by the Vols not putting their win over Alabama on their SEC takeover day, because I don't like that at all. If it was me, and you're going to tell me my football program's my front porch of my university, I'm going to show that game twice. If you give me control of the SEC network, I'm going to show that game twice. What's the reason, Matt? Is it the Nico thing? Is that what we're doing here? We're going to pretend like last year didn't exist because he's at UCLA now. Is that what we're doing?
I don't know any other reason why you wouldn't have anything football related.
Doesn't make any
feels
sense.
Like you could have gotten creative and figured out a way to have a few hours dedicated to football.
See, I agree with
I
that.
think they did like an inside SEC spring access or something.
Yeah, one of those
for an hour
type deals.
But that's it.
To me, I would have cut up highlights.
Or just play the 22 Bama game.
I would have cut up some highlights and had a highlight package from last year, a 2-hour deal, and just cut Nico out of all of it. Have all running plays. Really make it like anytime Nico was back to pass, Matt, just put like a